Hello everybody, my name is Pullowz. Welcome back, or hello if you're new here. Today we will be going over hotfix number 1 for Moonbreaker, which just released today, the 5th, or if you're watching this, I guess in the future, it'll release on the 6th, but it came out on the 5th of October. So, we'll be going over those notes. And as always, we will go over the facts first, and then opinions later. And also, note that everything is subject to change. This is an early access game, and nothing is final. All right, so let's just get right into it. So, starting top to bottom here, the cargo run contracts have been removed entirely from the game. So how these worked is you had the PvE mode, cargo run, which required a ticket, and you received 1 ticket per day. Or you could spend 80 blanks, which is the game's soft currency like gold, in order to get a ticket. And if you complete all 5 of those moons, then you get 100 blanks, thus netting you 20 blanks total. That is how the ticket system worked. And you got 15 of those tickets with the $30 purchase price. Again, otherwise you get 1 free a day, or they are 80 blanks each. So cargo run contracts, they were definitely a source of a lot of controversy. On launch day, a lot of Steam reviews didn't like it, and so those are gone. Those are no more. There is compensation if you had any that you didn't use. You will be compensated either in blanks or pulsars, depending on what you purchased them with. Moving on to the second thing here, they removed blanks as a reward from cargo run. So previously, like I mentioned, you could net 20 blanks if you succeeded in all 5 of the moons, but now you do not get any blanks for completing cargo run directly, not from the mode itself. It still gives you season track experience, and the season track can give you blanks, but the mode itself does not grant you blanks. They also removed all currency from screens where they are not relevant, so a lot of the rest of this is just UI cleaning up, making it seem a lot less like a mobile game, a free mobile game. Previously there were like 4 or 5 different currencies that you could see on the top of the screen. Well, now those are limited to whatever area they are relevant to, which we'll see once we get in game. They also removed the show unowned toggle on the unowned units tab and fixed a misalignment of the top controls for the unit tab. Again, like I said, a lot of UI stuff here. Removed the boosters currency label from the open booster box preview. Removed the merits label in the unowned units tab. Merits being dust or shards in this game, kind of like your duplicate currency that you can use to buy the things that you want ultimately. Removed the open booster boxes button from the open booster boxes view if you don't have any booster boxes. So again, moving stuff to where it ought to be, not where it shouldn't be. They removed the 75 Pulsar purchase option, which was previously $5 from the store, since it did not allow for purchasing of current items without incurring leftover amounts. They added open booster boxes button, there's a lot of B's in this hotfix here, to the unknown unit collection screen. Added the current number of boosters to the open booster box button. Added confirmation when hiring a unit. So to hire a unit is simply to use your merits to unlock it. It sounds weird. It sounds like maybe this is a temporary thing, but it's just another word for unlocking that unit. And so they have made it so there's a confirmation, so you don't accidentally do that if you didn't intend to. Also, they changed the hiring interface on the unit details panel. They unified rather, skipping ahead a little bit. Oh, come on, page. They unified the style of the text between the hire and upgrade panels. They updated the booster box's icon. Updated the painting tutorial video. So any paint enjoyers out there, that you have a new tutorial video to watch through. And then within the store, it now only shows the booster boxes button on the boosters tab. The bees. And lastly, included new tooltips in unit detail view, as well as for merits and rarity to clarify their usage. And those are the notes. I mean, if that's all you're here for, thanks for watching. But if you want to hear some of my opinions about those, then we need to head on over to the game. All right, here we are in the future. I mean, here we are in Moonbreaker. And so again, look at this UI here in the top. There's no currencies here. So now you don't think it's a free mobile game, which is really good. Because I definitely, that was really jarring, just seeing a bunch of stuff. And you're like, again, as a new player, I can totally imagine freaking out and thinking that there was some sketchy stuff going on here. But the first thing I want to talk about is the removal of cargo run contracts. Now, on the whole, I think this was great. I do not think that there should be a limited mode really in like any game, much less one that you pay for, right? One that you're paying $30 for. So I think that cargo run contracts needed to go. I didn't like them in the first place, and I'm glad that they're gone. However, I'm not happy with how they've handled that, because they, as a result, have removed the blanks that you get from those. And currently, there are no other modes. So this game has, player versus player, player versus AI, and cargo run. And previously, the cargo run was the only mode that actually gave you blanks directly. The other ways you could obtain blanks were from the beginner challenges, which will give you 700 blanks. You can also receive them from player level, which is up here, which is based on your unit mastery, which you get from playing PvP or versus AI and leveling up individual units, which is all cosmetic stuff. And then also on the season track, which is here. So those are your only sources in game. With purchase of the game, you get, 10 boosters. And then also if you purchase the Founders Pack, you get 1,000. I think it's 1,000. It's either 1,000 or 1,500 blanks as well. And besides those things, those are the blanks that are in the game. And of course, as new seasons come in, you will get more blanks with those. But there was an issue that I noticed in that, well, if somebody completes the season track, if they complete all of this stuff, they get all their blanks, they get all their boosters, and if they have hit the max player level, then because I had noticed that the cargo run was the only mode where you could get the blanks in, and I felt that was unfair. Because if you only liked PvP and didn't want to PvE, I felt that was unfair to you. Much like I would feel it was unfair if I was forced to PvP in order to get blanks endlessly. But now, with the removal of blanks from cargo run, just period, end of story, there is now a complete and total cap per season on the amount of blanks and thus booster boxes you can receive. And again, to me, it's like we've gotten rid of one limitation with the cargo run contracts and just introduced another. And one step forward, one step back, in my opinion. Now, are people going to see these immediately? No, unit mastery is going to take a long time to level up all the way, as is the season track, taking you on average probably 200 hours to complete. But once you get to that point, with player level being, I don't know if they plan to expand player level in the future or not, but with this potentially being capped right now, and the season track, being capped for these 4 months that the season's going to go on for, there could come a point where a player does not receive, if they're playing cargo run, does not receive, or anything, if they're playing any of the modes, they don't get any more blanks. And thus they don't get any more boosters. And thus, they don't make any progress. Now, there is the argument of, well, you don't really need that many boosters in order to unlock all the units. If with the 10 boosters you get and the 700 blanks, which thus converts into 7 boosters, they're 100 each. So with the 17 boosters you get from the initial purchase and playing of the game, you can comfortably get all of the units in, the 28 units crew that are in the game, plus the thing that you get by default. So you can get 28 crew, basically, is what I'm trying to say here, with 17 boosters, as long as you use your merits, which is the dust or the shards, to craft the units you don't have, and also decrease some of the rarity, which again is totally cosmetic. But if you lower the rarity of something, then you get those merits back. So yeah, sure, 17 boosters will get you, all the crew. And in the season, next season, that, 25 new crew or so, yeah, sure, you only need 17 boosters. But it's not a matter of like needing it. It's a matter of it feels bad to have a limit to that. It feels bad to say that there's just a point where you aren't rewarded anymore for playing the game. In a paid game with games as a service monetization, something that I'll be expected to pay for every month or however many, 4 months going forward, that there is a cap on the amount of progression I can make for a set period of time. That feels really bad, and that is what has happened as a result of cargo run contracts leaving. Now, of course, the game is in development, it's in early access. I fully expect this to change, but I wanted to just bring this up. We're talking about the hotfix, we're talking about this changing. I felt like this is a good time. I've brought this up in the Discord, I've brought this up on Nolt, which is their kind of feedback website for Moonbreaker, and I just wanted to make that voice heard here as well, that there is a serious issue with the blanks economy, as I'm calling it. I don't know why it feels like so many games these days don't want to reward their players. Like, they want to limit the amount of progression overall that they can get and make it really hard. And again, I'm not saying that's the intent, but that is what it feels like. That is what the current system feels like. And it's not all about intent, right? I might not intend to hit somebody with my car, but I still did, and I still need to, give them my insurance info and maybe pay for damages, even if it wasn't my intent. It might not be the intent to make it hard, but it is. And for me, it's really frustrating. And really, the only other thing that I want to get into in this video is a bit further down the line here. It's removed the 75 Pulsar purchase option from the store, since it did not allow for purchasing of current items without incurring leftover amounts. So let's go on over to the store. So previously, there was an option right here, which was $4.99 in US dollars for 75 Pulsars. And according to the patch notes, this has been removed because it didn't allow for purchasing of current items without incurring leftover amounts. Which, what I believe is a reference to is that 3 boosters is 80 Pulsars, right? So if you spent $5 on 75 Pulsars, you would come up 5 Pulsars short, right? You could buy 1 booster twice, but you couldn't buy the 3 boosters and get the better deal. And so they've just completely removed the purchase option of $5 for 75 Pulsars as a result. Now this just really confuses me, frankly. I already have issue with the Pulsars due to the fact that how exactly is a consumer supposed to take $10 for 160 Pulsars and easily translate that? If this says 230, I can't just say, well, that's, 23 bucks. It's not a multiplicative of 10 here, right? This isn't $10 for 100 currency or 1,000 currency, or even double or even half of that, because those are easy head math things. You just double something or you have it. This is, and again, this is something I've been vocal about in the Discord and on Nolt with feedback for, but removing the $5 option, making it so you have to spend at least $10 if you're gonna do any monetization. I just don't understand why. I feel like if the issue was that this doesn't equal 75, right? If the issue is I spend $5 and I get 75, why not make this 75? Why not make the $5 purchase 80 Pulsars? Why remove that option entirely from the game? Because previously, you could spend $5 and then $10, which would net you 235 Pulsars, which would be $15 for 10 boosters, this option right here. And you barely had enough. You had 235, you'd have 5 left over, but you could do that. Now, if you want to do this purchase isn't going to be enough. You're going to have to either purchase this twice, which would be $20, and and you would have leftover. You'd have like 130 left, I believe. Which again, well, now it's another purchase here. Or you could spend $25 on 425 pulsars. But look at this. So 230, right? Doubled, that's 460, right? So if I wanted to purchase this 2 times, I can't even, with the $25 purchase, I can't even do that twice. I'd have to spend $25 and then go spend another $10. Right? Having the $5 purchase option gave you more wiggle room for things. It gave you more options. You could spend $15 on the game. Now you can't do that. You could spend $30 on the game. Now it's either $10, which is a big ask, or $25, right? Not 15, not 20, but 25. And so this just totally, I don't even know where this came from. And, you know, I've been keeping up with the Discord and the Nolt, and I certainly, and I could be wrong. I as far as I'm aware though, I haven't seen anybody specifically saying that like $5 purchase option is bad. I think obviously it needed adjusting, and people were upset that reasonably you can't even get, you know, this for that purchase. But I don't think that removing the option for it entirely was a good call. And I hope that they revert it. And I hope that they fix the whole Pulsar situation, honestly. Like, if you want to talk about exploitation, and if you want to talk about monetary and monetization exploitation, this is a exploitative method, because it's used to obscure and obfuscate the amount of money that you're spending in the game. And by removing the $5, you're further exploiting, because you're asking more money out of people. You're reducing their options. Now again, I'm going to assume that the devs, you know, they don't have ill intent. They are new to games as a service. This is their best guess. And I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt. And I will continue to, because I love the dev team. They're very chill people. We might disagree on some things, but, you know, there's no rudeness or harshness or anything like that. It's all very professional, and people can have dissenting opinions. That's totally fine. The reason I'm providing feedback is I want this game to be successful, right? I want any game, like, I want to support developers. I have no problem with developers making money. I just want to be treated fairly. I don't want to be exploited in order for devs to make that money. I don't think that's sustainable. You know, I mean, you could talk about like workers and capitalists, exploitation of labor there. That's another story for another day though, but it's the same kind of idea, right? And so that change here, I am baffled by it. I don't understand where it came from. There's really, and the explanation is that they did it so because it didn't allow for purchasing of current items without incurring leftover amounts. But literally, I can purchase this for 160 and purchase something, and it has a leftover amount. Like anything will have a leftover amount. There will always be a leftover amount with things. Like, this is just really confusing to me. I'd love some clarification. I'd love to know if this was a knee-jerk reaction, if this was, you know, if this is going to be in there for a while, because this really threw me for a loop here. But yeah, I wanted to go in and look too at some of the, like, the clarification that they made for rarity, and I think it's, you know, stuff here that it's cosmetic only, right? Which is great. Maybe there are additional tooltips here, so you're changing the rarity, right? You're getting, that is good. That's better clarity for some of that stuff. And again, overall, there are a lot of good things here. Removal of cargo run contracts, removing the UI for some of this monetization, you know, moving it to the store where it should be, and boosters to the store and all that kind of stuff. That's great. You know, great, good fixes, good things going forward. But then also some things that I really feel need to be addressed. So, yeah, that about does it though for the video today. I have so many videos that I always debate on whether to make them and how to talk about them. But for now, this is what you get. So I hope you enjoyed the overview of the hotfix. And I hope that we have many more to come, and many more patches. I can't wait for like the big official first patch of Moonbreaker. You know, again, I'm not anti-Moonbreaker. I'm not, you know, any of that stuff. I want the game to succeed. And I think we need to be critical of anything if we want it to, you know, respectfully critical. If we want something to succeed and do the best that it can. But yeah. Well, thanks so much for watching, y'all. And, you know, I hope you have a great rest of your day and a great rest of your week. And I hope that the next time that you paint your walls, that it comes out like so much more beautiful than you could ever imagine, and the paint dries quicker than you would have ever thought, and you really feel like you get your money's worth. Okay? So I'll talk to you later. See you next time, okay? Bye.